India is currently landing spacecraft on the lunar South Pole, a feat of modern engineering. Yet 9,000 years ago, long before most civilizations had even developed basic agriculture, the people of Mehrgarh were already performing complex dentistry using fine stone drills. This precision continued into the Indus Valley Civilization, where cities like Mohenjo-Daro were built on exact grid systems. They engineered 90-degree intersecting roads and a standardized covered drainage network that connected to every household. This history presents a haunting contradiction. How did a land capable of such sophisticated urban planning and medical precision eventually fall into a cycle of systematic dismantling, loot, and centuries of colonial rule? To understand the collapse, we have to look at the structural foundation that supported the subcontinent for millennia. This stability relied on three pillars. First, intellectual capital. Scholars calculated the Earth's rotation and invented zero centuries before the West. Second, material wealth. Economic output was so vast that diamonds, emeralds, and fine textiles were traded in open markets like common grain. This combination of scientific advancement and immense wealth is exactly what made the civilization the primary target for foreign empires, seeking to dismantle its pillars and claim its resources. The first pillar to be targeted was the intellectual one. The iron pillar in Delhi has stood for 1,600 years without a single speck of rust, proof of a metallurgical mastery that modern science still struggles to replicate using ancient methods. In 1193, an invader named Bakhtiar Khilji fell dangerously ill. When his own physicians failed, he was treated by Raul Sribhadra, an Ayurvedic master from Nalanda University, who successfully cured him. Khilji responded with violence. He was disturbed by the realization that Indian medical knowledge surpassed his own, and his gratitude quickly turned into a destructive jealousy. He ordered the complete destruction of Nalanda University. Its library held 9 million manuscripts, thousands of years of research in mathematics and astronomy, and the fire was so massive it burned for 3 whole months. The burning of Nalanda was a deliberate attempt to erase India's scientific future. By destroying the manuscripts, the invaders severed the transmission of knowledge between generations. With the intellectual infrastructure wounded, the physical wealth became the next target. In 1739, Nadir Shah sacked Delhi, massacring its citizens and dragging away the solid gold Peacock Throne and the Kohinoor Diamond. But the most systematic extraction began with the East India Company. They exploited internal conflicts between local rulers to seize control of the economy through a strategy of divide and rule. The company drained the treasury of Bengal so ruthlessly that it triggered massive famines. While local grain was loaded onto British ships for export, millions were left with nothing, eventually forced to eat grass to survive. British policy dismantled the local industry to eliminate competition. Indian weavers produced muslin cloth so fine it could pass through a single ring. British officers began cutting off the thumbs of these master artisans to force the country to rely on imports from England. These policies transformed a thriving center of global trade into a closed economic circuit designed to siphon resources directly to London. While the northern borders were traditionally guarded, the 18th century saw the ocean become a wide-open backdoor for foreign looters to enter the subcontinent unchecked. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj identified this vulnerability and made it his mission to conquer the coastline. He mobilized ordinary farmers and shepherds, the Mavallas, to build a professional naval force. They achieved a massive engineering feat, transporting heavy stone blocks into the churning tides to build invincible sea fortresses that stood directly in the path of invading fleets. Shivaji's maritime legacy showed that sovereignty is maintained through the willpower of a population determined to guard its own borders, even against the world's most powerful navies. The physical losses were immense. The millions of manuscripts at Nalanda remain as ashes, and the physical gold of the Peacock Throne is still held in foreign lands. The colonizers assumed that by looting the wealth and burning the libraries, they would permanently crush the civilization's capacity to lead. However, the culture's underlying scientific logic and resilience survived the dark centuries. This intellectual drive persisted within the people, preserved through oral traditions and a stubborn refusal to let the ancestral spirit be erased. This capacity for resilience is what allowed the golden bird to recover its strength and return to the global stage. The same lineage of curiosity that once mapped the stars is now landing on the moon. If you feel a spark of pride for this unbroken journey, write your name and Jai Hind in the comments and subscribe to Ao Jane. Until next time, stay proud. Jai Hind.